Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
At UFC 226, Daniel Cormier knocked out the heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic to become the UFC's light heavyweight and heavyweight champion. After he did that, he got on the microphone and he said, "Brock Lesnar, get your ass in here." And then to Daniel Cormier's surprise, Brock Lesnar gave him more than he asked for. He came in that octagon, he pushed Daniel Cormier halfway across the octagon, almost out of the octagon. Lucky the cage door wasn't open back there. He might have flew into the crowd. Holy smokes. But no, then he got on the mic, cut a mean promo. Francis Ngannou was a piece of shit. Miocic was a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. And now we're looking at a potential super fight between Brock Lesnar and the heavyweight champion, Daniel Cormier. That sounded weird, the heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier, but it's official as a whistle. DC, the double champ. But before Daniel Cormier knocked out Stipe Miocic, and actually I missed this moment, but my brother was watching the fights too, and he was like, "Hey man, did you see Brock Lesnar ask Joe Rogan to be on his podcast?" And I missed it. But at UFC 226, I believe right before the main event, Brock Lesnar did ask Joe Rogan to come on the podcast. Now his name has been added to the future guest on Joe Rogan's itinerary for his podcast guest list, but there's a lot of other dope-ass names as well. I mean, it's a great time to be an MMA fan. We got a lot of stacked cards that are going to be coming up at the end of the year. But man, it's also a great time to be a fan of the Joe Rogan podcast. Check this shit out, bro. Michael Bisping, Elon Musk, and keep in mind all the dates for these are all not confirmed. And due to scheduling issues, some of these might never happen, like with Elon Musk. You know, these are just guests that have either shown an interest in coming on the podcast or, you know, talk to Joe Rogan about coming on the podcast. And so the dates are still to be announced. But look at these lists. Anthony Cumia. I don't know the next guy. But Gegard Mousasi, holy smokes, can't wait for that one. Brock Lesnar, that's what we're talking about now. And then Roseanne Barr and Lil B, the bass god. That one will be good too. But with that being said, I wonder though, and that's what you see at the bottom of the screen, what do you guys think they're going to be talking about? You think we're going to get the answers? I would think Joe Rogan, he's going to find a good way to bring up some sort of performance enhancing drugs, right? I would hope so. But some people think everyone's going to be pissed when they just talk about hunting the whole time. Shout out to K Wilson on Reddit. And I thought that was pretty funny as well. And that's a real possibility. I mean, I wouldn't mind hearing Brock Lesnar and Joe Rogan talk about some hunting, to be honest. That's a legit podcast. But at the same time, I would love to hear him talk about his UFC comeback, maybe his last suspension with Mark Hunt, and you know what's going on with that situation. Maybe the lawsuit he's possibly in with Mark Hunt. But at the same time, Brock Lesnar's not a guy that's really known for speaking a lot. So maybe Joe Rogan won't want to approach those topics. But hey, man, who knows? I'll be tuning in to listen. But also, Brock Lesnar, doesn't he have like that little guy that, you know, is always like talking for him, if I'm not mistaken? I think his name might be Paul Heyman. I wonder if he's going to be like on the podcast. Like, what if he was on there speaking for Brock Lesnar? Like, what if Joe Rogan was like, "So, Brock, man, how does it feel to be coming back and fighting for the championship?" And the dude was like, "Oh, Brock loves this opportunity. Brock can't wait to get in there and crush Daniel Cormier." That would be so hilarious. But yo, it is what it is. I'll be looking forward to this episode. And now it looks like it is in motion. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And before we go, shout out to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you hit the bell right next to it so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And this is the hardest working MMA channel on YouTube. We provide daily updates, predictions, betting advice. We do songs, we do fantasy fights. We've interviewed Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley, Bruce Lechimedio, and Felony Charles Bennett, all in just 1 year as an MMA channel. We're one of the fastest growing MMA channels on the net, but we're still small, so make sure you guys go check out the Full-Time MMA Dojo if you want to learn how you can become a full-time MMA black belt. And while you're there, you can see where this MMA channel started from, some of the goals we have for the channel, and even more cool videos just like this one if you enjoyed it. So thanks again to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. And also, if you're just lurking and this is your first time seeing a video, appreciate that as well. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DO double G.